are coming into the team. So Collingwood and Carlton about to get underway here at Victoria Park. It's going to be Stokes in the ruck and going up against Lily Pearce. We'll have a secondary stoppage in the middle. And one thing we're going to keep an eye on today, or I am in particular, Tyrone, is just how many tackles Carlton can lay. They're averaging just over 60 a game as it's Collingwood going forward with the first kick from Jarvis to about 25 out from goal. The Magpies managed to snaffle the Sherrin. It's Ryan who's wrapped up, having another go at it, but locked up about 20 out from goal. Di Donato, the number 51 for Carlton, locking up this footy.
Yeah, Carlton have been known for their tackling effort so far this year as they're going up through Stokes. Ball comes down now. Carlton fleeing out the back line. Good handball, good link-up play here. Kick not so great. Dribbling now towards the far side wing. Here comes Carlton to retrieve. Collingwood now bring the numbers, and this one looks like it's going to be held up on the far side.
Yeah, averaging around 62 tackles a game, the Blues, and the Magpies. Well, they've got a bit of work to do in season 2024 if they want to get back to September. This one is probably going to be locked up again. They're trying their very best through Jade Anthony to break through a couple of tackles, but none doing on the outer side of the ground. Meg Ryan, the captain of Collingwood, won the toss, kicking to the Sherrin stand end in this opening term as Bowie tried to find the safety of the boundary line. None doing. So Pearce and Stokes to the ruck work again. Ryan met by Curry and taken over the line. In fact, it was Matty Gearan. So outer side of the ground, early going of this contest. The umpire will throw this one in the forward pocket.
Good signs early from Collingwood getting this inside 50. Ball goes up now. We're going to go through Pearce. Tap comes down. Collingwood at the back to retrieve. Handball comes off now. Can they find an opportunity on the outside? Umpire's going to call this one back in. You can see why they get that tackle tally so high, don't you, Joe? It's been locked in that inside 50. Ruck's now up again, down through Stokes. Who can get on the end of it? Carlton now coming out, but Collingwood have the numbers. Ball tracking. That one's going to be out on the far side wing. The umpire's paid it, though.
It's a lasso, because just outside the 50. So last touch in between the arcs, or last disposal, means that they can send the ball back inside 50 here, the Pies.
Pies now have an opportunity now coming through Collingwood with the snap. They've gone for their first goal of the game. Collingwood starting their season 0-3, but a great opportunity here early for them to take the lead.
A wonderful goal came off the boot of Caitlin Day. Kicks the first one, and that's a dream start for the Pies. Tyrone, last time they were out, which was only a week ago, just the three behinds against Box Hill. The going tough against the front runners so far in 2024. So to get an early goal, it'll do this team and Tommy Cashin and the team the world of good.
Oh, well, hopefully it almost gives the players the morale boost that they need. We are capable of achieving these goals, so let's continue to do them. So
3 minutes into the game, the ball was camped at the Magpies' end, and as we said, Caitlin Day, the first goal kicker on this Saturday afternoon. Back into the centre square. Gearan trying to win back the footy. Went through her legs. The second attempt came from Meg Robinson. Stokes on the deck. Ends up with Pearce. A wobbling kick only as far as Matty Gearan, who just shoveled the handball to space, and Skepper got boot to ball. The kick, though, going to be turned over. Strong tackling from the Carlton half-forward flankers on this broadcast side of the ground. The Magpies throw their bodies in, and the umpire will call for the ball.
Coming up now, two rucks go at it. Down through Pearce, great crumb there from Baldwin. She gets the high free kick call now. She's going to look for her forwards. Probing. Decides not to go short. Uses the 45 now towards her half forwards. Kick not so great. Umpire calling holding the man there. So the free kick now going to come through Lila Keck. Carlton finally starting to get some momentum towards their forward half. Kick inside 50. Just dropped there from the key forward, but she keeps manoeuvring. Kick smothered now, coming back on the half forward line. Great work there through Mel. Coming out now. Carlton. Going forward through Baldwin. Kick is in. Can they get a mark here? Carlton. Not quite Joe, but they keep working through, going forward.
So it was Anthony off the boot. The snap into goal is just missing to the near side. That was off Mal Staunton. They just want to keep presenting and pushing the Sherrin forward as much as they can, Carlton, in the early phases of this contest. It's going to be Lucy Cronin charged with kicking in duties for the Pies. We've gone 5.5 minutes in this first term at Victoria Park. And Cronin wants to bring it out to the broadcast side of the ground. Stokes sits underneath the high ball, missed it altogether. Frosbrook threw her body in. Skepper was strong in the tackle. And the umpires found a free kick. Insufficient intent to try and get the ball out. So Keely Skepper for the Blues will thump them back inside 50. Big pack of players. They came from all parts of the compass. The ball hits the ground. The kick from Mollenberg towards the boundary line. Can they get a hand to it? The Magpies, in fact, they managed to keep it in. And they go towards the corridor off the boot of Rebecca Grant. This one, though, going to be turned over. Lawson Tavern wrapped up in the tackle. She managed to swing a handball backwards to Di Donato. Gearan through the corridor with Bowie in the centre circles. Anthony's on the outer side. It went through her legs. She managed to win back the Sherrin. And Carlton can go forward. This is from Baldwin, just inside 50. They've managed to work this out, Carlton. And they can have the shot at goal. A brilliant smother in the end from Casey Lennox. The ball's spilt free. And Carlton will have another attempt to go into the pocket. Anthony sits underneath it with Cronin. Anthony kept her feet from the pocket. The snap into goal's an absolute gem. It's just going to roll across the face of goal, though, and run out of room just in front of Mel Staunton. The umpire will ask for this one to be thrown in. We've gone 7 minutes. Collingwood a 1 straight 6. Carlton 1 behind.
Carlton now finally starting to get their numbers around the footy. Their momentum is building. How can Collingwood bounce back, though? As we're going to meet again through Pearce and Stokes in the forward 50. Good ruck contest all day here. Ball is down. Carlton first to it. The kick is off, coming towards the broadcast side wing. Collingwood have the numbers around the contest. Good, strong contest there from Grant. As Carlton continue their relentless assault inside 50. Can they make the most of their opportunities, though? Getting a stoppage inside 50. Big win for the Carlton side there.
Yeah, most certainly. There's a repeat entries, and Collingwood's defence having to hold up as best as they can. Hannah Bowie's out the back of this contest, wrapped up straight away by Pearce, as well as Maya Elan. So this one will be tossed up again. Stokes was strong, put her body on the line, came out towards Bowie, managed to fashion a handball and then got it back. So she'll send this one to the top of the square. Anthony Cronin stood strong. Took a great defensive mark for the Pies. Might try and spread from this contest and send it to the outer side of Victoria Park. She takes the grass in front of her. The kick, though, turned over. A really good mark from Di Donato. And into the pocket for Anthony. What she probably should have taken. Cronin came in, fell over. Carlton from in the pocket. Eliza Wood to the top of the goal square. Ball stays inside the field of play. They're having another crack at it. The small forwards of the Blues. On the deck is Isabella Parnell. And the umpire will ask for it again.
The inside 50s keep coming, don't they, Joe?
Yeah, the repeat entries at the moment. Collingwood really struggling to get it out of their defensive 50 arc.
Stokes for the tap down now. It's going to go straight back out on the boundary, and the umpire's going to throw it back in again. 6
inside 50s to Carlton, 2 to the Collingwood Magpies so far. Of course, the Pies have kicked the only goal. From a disposal point of view, it's 38-20, Tyrone, in favour of Carlton.
Wow. Coming up now, we have Walsh coming in the ruck for Pearce. Ball's tapped down, wrapped up there by Carlton. As the inside 50s keep on coming for Carlton. Stokes tapped down towards her midfield. Can Collingwood manufacture something here in the back half? And that's going to be another stoppage.
Hannah Bowie leads all comers with 5 disposals. Anthony with 4, along with Baldwin and Di Donato. This one's thrown back up. Collingwood at the moment having a tough time trying to get it out of their defensive arc. The Blues are up to the task in keeping it locked in. Cronin again, another disposal. She had some big raps on her in the lead up to last year's AFLW draft. Almost a bolter in some sorts. Now here's Collingwood. They've managed to find out the back door, but that is a brilliant tackle. Super stuff from Isla Baldwin to win back the footy for the Blues because the Magpies were off to the races. She managed to lock up and stop any run forward. So just underneath the scoreboard, it's in the hands of Steph DeMeo. And a wonderful mark has been taken there by Hurley. Will go towards the top of the square. Again, they'll all fly. Bowie's at the front of the contest. The kick just goes up and down the chimney. And it's the Collingwood defence again, thumping it out of the danger zone, but it might come back. Mark not paid as the ball hits the ground. It's Prince sitting underneath it. Now, is she making an attempt? The umpire's hovering. He's having a look. He's thinking. They're asking the question. Letting it go. And now, finally, the Magpies will get the ball at centre-half back Tyrone.
Yeah, almost didn't think they were going to call that one there.
It took
for a while.
A nice 30-odd seconds, the umpire, to work out what he was going to do with his decision.
The ball coming out through Collingwood. Soccer goes forward. Carlton in defence, though. Nice work there from Izzy Curry. They have the numbers around the contest here. What can Carlton manufacture? Coming back now through Lila Keck with the kick off on the near side broadcast wing, but Collingwood have the numbers around the contest. Can they make the most of it? Handball over the top towards Francis, and the ball's going to come out on the near side boundary.
Right at the interchange gates. It's like Burke Street down here, Tyrone. Look at them.
Very, very busy there.
Now the umpires are conferring. There is a last touch off the boot of Lila Keck, so it's going to be the Magpies free kick, and France says he will send it to half forward. The ball hits the ground. It's thumped away by Robertson, only as far as Francesi. So Collingwood will go to half forward with the kick. It's not a great one. Out of bounds on the full, which means the free kick will be taken by Hannah Bowie, who now, Tyrone, is up to 7 disposals herself.
Yeah, Hannah Bowie has been very, very active here early for Carlton. Great signs for her as the kick comes now to the near side broadcast. Coming out the back, we have Isabel Parnell chasing that one down, but it's going to come out here for another throw-in.
Yeah, so that one off hands for those just tuning in. Last touch out of bounds is for a kick or a handball. A spoil or just tapping it over the line will result in a boundary throw-in as opposed to a turnover free kick.
Joe Pignataro bringing all of the rules here as the boundary umpire.
I brought the book with me today.
Brought the book with him today.
The laws of the game.
First tap down through Collingwood. Great crumbing work there. But Carlton have the numbers around as the ball is going to be tapped out again near side boundary.
Yeah, that was Frances Walsh, Tyrone, who's a bit of a speedster, comes out of the Melbourne Uni women's program in the Amos, and she's made the A-grade team of the year 2022 and 2023. Nice to show a clean pair of heels there. Nice little bit of speed about her, Frances Walsh. Fosbrook was wrapped up and thrown into the ground from Izzy Curry. So the umpire will ask for it again. Just off this contest is Walsh standing Hannah Bowie. And it's going to be the Magpies off the boot of Ingram to go inside 50. It's out the back door. Can they run this into an open goal with Beck Grant? Well, she was tackled and run down. Terrific from Carlton. Match-saving sort of stuff from Di Donato early on in the game. But Tyrone, in these low-scoring contests, every single moment, just like that one, matters more than most. 1 straight 6, the Pies. 1 behind, that's Carlton, as they try to navigate their way out of defence. And they will do just that with Meg Robertson.
Meg Robertson now trying to find something in the middle. Great handball here. Can they manufacture something through the middle? Time and space. Great first touch there, almost soccer-esque from Marianne Anthony. But she's pushed over the contest. Collingwood now have the numbers. Great chip kick coming now through Ava Campbell. Slowing the play down and assessing her options. Trying to even out that inside 50 tally a bit. Collingwood underneath, and that's going to be a great grab there, Joe.
Yeah, they're going to go quickly because there's one on in the goal square, and the mark's being taken by DG Akomi, who will turn around and, well, from point-blank range, Tyrone, ram it home. to give the Pies their second goal at the 15-minute mark of the first term to the Sharon stand end. This is a dream start for the Pies. They've got two. Sashi's got her first. And for all the inside 50 dominance that Carlton have had in the last 7 or 8 minutes, to go to the other end of the ground with only your third or fourth inside 50 and kick the second goal to extend the margin out to 11 points, that's got to be a touch deflating for the Navy Blues.
Well, just something interesting to look at is that Carlton have actually dominated the possession so far, 60% of the possession. Collingwood only 40% of that, if you know maths. So
thank you.
So the fact they're able to make the most of their opportunities here, it's the difference in football.
Certainly is. So 2 straight 12, the Magpies. Carlton 1 behind. We've gone 15 and a half minutes this opening term.
Umpire is going to meet again in the middle. There's a little something going on, though. They're taking their time, looking around. You know,
might be a 666.
Heads are swiveling and the confusion's in the air.
Oh, there was one. They were one short on the coming on the ground, the Magpies. I think the coach was stuck having a chat to Caitlin Day. She didn't quite realise it was her rotation to come on the ground.
Stokes and Pearce now meet again. Pearce going forward here through Ramos. Carlton meet it, though, in the back half. Lots of feet over the footy here, and it looks like Collingwood are going to lock this one in for another inside 50.
That inside 50 count, 7-5 now on the back of this little entry.
Pearce and Stokes continue to do battle. Pearce getting the best of her there. Great handball off here through Collingwood. Can they find the option? Kick coming now through Frosbrook. But Carlton set up strong in defence.
Yep, they turn the footy over the Blues. On the last line of defence, they can work it out to this broadcast side of the ground. It's with Skepper. Onto the left foot. Nice, well-weighted kick. They've massaged this footy nicely into the hands of Sophia McCarthy without Collingwood getting a look in or the ball hitting the deck. So McCarthy plays it down the line. Cronin, simple pickings. Started this game really well in the back line. She sends it back in the McCarthy direction, who is in a one-on-one. This ball ends up now going over the line. Mollenberg did really well to affect the spoil and get it over the line. We're nearing quarter time. It's a good start for Collingwood, given the way they've started this season. The little incremental wins inside games for the Pies. Thrown back in. Stokes won it down to the front. Ryan, handball just went up and down the chimney. Gearin got it to Robinson. Tried to get it back to Maddie, but in the end it came towards Peck, who just shoveled the handball out towards Curry. Thrown into the ground. Peck had a second go at it. Got boot to ball. It's going to bounce on its point towards the Collingwood captain in Ryan. Inside out spiral. And the mark has been taken by Meg Robinson. She'll have a crack at sending Carlton forward, although she wants to go into the corridor, Tyrone, which is dangerous for the Blues. And Jade Anthony turns it over.
Jade Anthony now going forward. Collingwood have the numbers. Can they find their options? Kick is off here through Rebecca Grant, but that's going to go just right there. Yes, Collingwood, she assessed the middle early and decided to go, but just might have taken a little bit too long there now as Carlton coming out of their back half, trying to get a handle on this game again as it's slowly getting away, but that kick is not great. Keely Scapper, the nearest option. Inside 50 here through the hands of Sasha. She's going to take her time on the far side wing, Joe.
She is.
There's a bit of biff off the ball there by Skepper.
I did see that. Keely Skepper just put her teammate on her backside. So Sashi goes into the pocket. Ball's, well, not quite locked up. Caitlin Day got a boot to it. And in the end now, it's fisted over the line by Lawson Tavern. So we've got about a minute to run in this opening term. Nice little crowd building around Victoria Park to see a couple of old rivals going at it. Collingwood and Carlton. Thrown back in. Neither ruck got a hand to it. Sweeping handball towards Keck. She just handballed it to space and hoped for the best. But the Magpies have set up really well around the ball. That was clean from Ramsdale to the top of the square, and in the end, comfortable from Di Donato to fist it through for a minor score as we close in on quarter time. 2-2-14 to 1 behind in favour of the home team.
Coming back now, Di Donato takes a bounce. takes up a lot of the space as well, but Collingwood have the numbers around the footy, and they get a grab there through Nicky Watts.
Might be a last chance saloon here, Tyrone.
Swing on her right foot and hit a target inside 50 here, Joe.
Might be Rebecca Grant.
Rebecca Grant looks like
they're screaming at her to just say, have the shot.
And Rebecca Grant here going to line up after the siren for Collingwood's potentially third goal. This would be a dream start for Collingwood. Rebecca Grant.
It'll take her best effort here, Tyrone.
Strolling in 40 metres out. Kick is off, and that looks like it might just go short. Carlton defence set there, Joe.
They lucky. We're all on the goal line, but they were screaming for it. At least have a crack at it. And that's what she did. This is a great start for Collingwood. 2-2.
I think it's fair.
Yep. No, I'm going to start engraving my name in one of these seats very shortly as we go back underway for the second term. It's Pearce and Stokes going at it. I'll be locked up in the middle again. Strong with Jade Anthony over the footy. She's standing Isabel Curry. This one's thrown up again, just outside the centre circles. Ryan trying to get it out, thrown into the ground by Curry. This was somewhat a feature of the opening term. I think Meg Ryan might have just caught one in the face. She may have to come off under the blood rule. No. Stick the mouthguard back in and we go again. I like that. Old-fashioned football, that is. Head over it. Thrown into the turf again. Curry. Anthony. And last to get up on that occasion is Hannah Dyson. So Carlton managed to will it to centre half forward without actually touching the ball. Here's Jade Anthony getting it off to Dyson. Her handball was just to space. And Gearan can raffle it with her teammate. Grant came up from half forward, locked up again, Tyrone. So the first minute down, Carlton's laid about 6 tackles. No one's had a real disposal to start this second term.
Someone must have had some choice words with them because they are absolutely laying down the tackles to start this half. Carlton now coming through. Great pickup off half-back. Can they find a forward option? Collingwood have the numbers. This one looks like it might have been grabbed by Cronin. But Carlton wrapped them up, and we're going to go again.
She was a draft bolter, if you can believe that, last year, Lucy Cronin. The way she started as a key defender today, she almost looks like someone who's been really accomplished for 5 or so years. Only came back from an ACL injury midway through last year.
Yeah, well, I think a bolter is someone who just isn't in the good books of a recruiter yet. It only takes one recruiter to get the eyes on them.
I like that. So there's a bit of meaning behind a bolter.
Yeah. Once one recruiter gets onto you, they all do. It's like they don't want to miss out.
Well, they've got a good one here, the Pies, with Lucy Cronin.
Oh, Carlton looking for an entry now. Getting the first inside 50 of the second quarter. Kick is long.
Great purchase.
Great crumb there. Couldn't make the most of their opportunity, could they? And Collingwood are going to look to try a sit on this one. Kick now comes out towards Bowie at the back. Didn't quite get it. Scapper gets the kick off. Collingwood meet, though. Just going to bomb this one back out towards Wood. Wood getting herself under it. Looks for her options. Great kick inside the middle towards Francis. Can she get onto it here?
Space here, just space.
Takes her time. Finds the option. Handball not so great, and they're going to try to lock this one up on the half-forward line.
Oh, that was saving from Carlton because it was just a paddock in front of them, and Ava Campbell was in a one-on-one. The ball just didn't want to barrack for the Pies on that occasion. It bounced awkwardly. And now we've got it locked up at half forward. Did Ryan get into the back of her opponent? The umpire said yes. So it's going to be a free kick to Izzy Curry. I'm not surprised at all that Curry, we've called her name 3 or 4 times this term, hasn't really had a disposal, but 3 or 4 tackles and at the bottom of packs. She's a hard nut. Brilliant kick. Wonderful, well-weighted ball for Gemma Stokes. Shovels the handball off to Keck. Up and down the chimney goes the kick. Big pack of players. It's fisted towards the boundary line off the hands of Casey Lennox. And at the interchange gates of the Magpies, we'll have this one thrown back in.
And just to check, Octavia Di Donato now leading all disposal getters with 9, just passing Bowie. So she's been busy.
About to be thrown back in, half forward flank for Carlton. They're kicking to the Sharon stand end in this second term. I'm going to go to their name. Pearce managed to get a hand on that one. Ball shoveled out. Maddie Gearan left the footy behind. That might have just been a throw from Eliza Wood. Now there's been a whistle from the non-officiating umpire. And Carlton get a second chance here to send the ball forward off to Mayo.
Yes, kick goes towards Scapper. Flying through with the white headband. Swings now onto her left foot Kick is in. Collingwood have the numbers, though, but couldn't quite get there. Pearce flying over the back. Umpire is going to call holding the man there for Octavia Di Donato. She's going to get up to double-digit disposal. Swings across half-back.
Dangerous kick.
Dangerous kick, though. Lucy Cronin's going to meet the ball. Try rush this one through. Handball off. Can they get it over? They can. Collingwood survive a bit of a scare there.
They do in the end. But I reckon no matter the level of footy, Tyrone, it's always dangerous to go across the face of goal if you're not absolutely certain with your kick hitting the target. As Lucy Cronin, she runs the best part of 35 metres without having a bounce, and in the end, a wonderful, well-weighted kick. Ramos takes the mark in front of the faithful, standing around the interchange bench. From half-back to half-forward go the Pies. Day managed to get a boot to it. The kick partially smothered. It's DeMeo sending it back down the line. Ramos couldn't take the mark. Bowie's in front of her. They both meet the Sharon. Ramos wins the day and sends it to half-forward. It's all Carlton. Cutting a swathe through them was Meg Robertson. Nice little fancy piece of footwork to get the ball to half-forward. The handball just to space. Keck, it rolled through her legs. And it's Lennox picking it up and trying to pick out Ramos. He's having a third attempt at winning the Sharon, but Carlton win back the ball. Thumping kick of the football from Maddie Gearan. Gets to the paint of 50. Mark probably could have been taken. Strong tackle from the number 54s. Walsh meets McCarthy. And the umpire calls for the ball. Yes. 6 minutes gone, Tyrone. 2-2-14 to 2 behinds. We've got a couple of young fellas in front of us charging around Victoria Park.
Stomping the feet.
Getting as many steps in as they can.
As Frosbrook now gets her head over the football. Met early, though, by the Carlton forwards. Ball's going to come up again.
Great to see a nice crowd building in too. This is what local footy is all about, coming to these old suburban grounds and getting amongst it.
Well, I was saying here, I haven't even seen Vic Park in use yet, so this is awesome to be able to come down and watch a game now. As the kick comes off through Turner. Met by Skepper. Skepper get the handball out now. Kick comes off through Izzy Corey. Been busy. Collingwood defence going to meet, though. The handball off. Can Carlton manufacture something here in the inside 50? Collingwood have the numbers around the contest and find a way to retreat to the 50-metre boundary line.
Again, those inside 50 numbers are starting to climb. 12 now for Carlton, 8 for the Magpies. 4 scoring shots to the 2 behinds. In favour of the Pies. We'll have another stoppage just outside 50 now. Skepper lurking. Hurley's moved into the ruck as Walsh is wrapped up. Here is Skepper. Just off the side of the boot. Anthony's going to at least make a contest of things with Cronin as it goes off hands. And thrown in. Picture-perfect conditions on this Saturday afternoon here in Collingwood. This is round 4 of the Rebel VFLW season. Joe Pingataro and Tyrone Winder bringing you all the action on VFL.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Ryan wrapped up, going nowhere. And the umpire will ask for the ball back, about 35 out from goal.
Yes, the skipper, Meg Ryan, in there now against Hurley. Hurley gets the tap down. What can the Carlton forwards do? Find their numbers. Big tackle there by Frosbrook. And the umpire said might even be a little bit too ambitious.
Are you surprised at all that it's Izzy Curry at the bottom of the pack getting up last?
She has been very busy here in the second quarter. Izzy Curry, and she might be rewarded for her efforts with a goal. As she lines herself. Perfect conditions at Vic Park, as Joe Pignataro said here, just going into the 8th minute of the second quarter. Izzy Curry waltzes in. Has a hop, has a skip, has a kick. The kick is off. Can it go all the way? That one's just going to be touched over the line.
So Tyrone, Isabel Curry, 5 disposals, 6 tackles now for her. That's a pretty good outing.
How often do you get more tackles than disposals?
Oh, when it comes to Isabel Curry.
But still be as busy as her.
Probably most weeks for Izzy. Brilliant kick from Cronin. Picked out Fosbrook out of sight of the ground. As Collingwood tried to build up. But the ball's been turned back over. And so Carlton will work it back to half forward. Not a great handball in the end. It allowed the Pies in. And taken without the ball is Michaela Moroney, who's making her Collingwood debut. This young girl, just 18 years of age, in two minds as to where to go. She's got Cronin riding shotgun. So just gave the handball off to her, but Cronin's kick has been turned over, and Layla Prince takes the mark. She's pointing and directing traffic to keep it on the outer side here of Victoria Park. So that's what she does. The kick's not a great one in the end. Frances Walsh picked it up. Went towards Fosbrook, who was wrapped up by Bowie. A real attempt to get rid of it, but the umpire gave her the benefit of the doubt. We'll have this one locked up as we're halfway through this second term. 2-2-14 to 3 behinds in favour of Collingwood. Curry went backwards to go forwards. Bowie, her kick partially smothered. Fosbrook, the handball just to space. Day, who's already kicked a goal today. The snap back inboard's a good one. And so Collingwood, with Ava Campbell at half forward, can send themselves inside 50 for almost one of the first times. In fact, Campbell's handball has been turned over. She gave it to Eliza Wood. And now it's Frances Walsh who's turning the footy back over for the Pies.
Frances Walsh now looking for an entry. Fly by Skepper. Carlton going to meet that one at the back, trying to go forwards, but might have put themselves under too much pressure. Met now through Bowie, gets the kick off, but Carlton are going to meet the ball through Georgia Lawson. Handball back now. Can they get a deep entry here? No numbers. No one's going to be taken by Skepper in the back half. Great defensive structure from the Carlton side here. Can they find an option going forward? Big fly. Ball hits the deck here on the broadcast side wing. As Carlton and Collingwood. Fosbrook, snap is off. Can it go? Oh, that's going to be a great grab there by JC Anthony inside the forward 50. As we said, Joe, Carlton having a lot of the inside 50s, but when Collingwood go deep, making the most of their opportunities.
They're certainly having an impact, and when they do get an inside 50, Tyrone, you're right, they get it deep, 15, 20 metres out from goal. Real scoring zone in the VFLW, and here is Jade Anthony, a chance to give them their third goal and extend the margin.
Jade Anthony now waltzing in, gets nice and close, the kick is off. Goal umpire only moves a step or two as Jade Anthony kicks Collingwood's third goal of the day. Now 3-2-20 to 3 behinds Carlton in the 12th minute of the second quarter.
And again, like we said, right at the end of quarter time, Tyrone, that it would be deflating that Carlton have had more of the footy from a possession point of view, more of the inside 50s, and Collingwood take it down the other end of the ground, and they are the ones that get the maximum 6 points for the work up the field. And they just, I know you said great defensive structure from Keely Skepper to get the ball out, but as soon as it hit the brick wall of Collingwood, Lucy Cronin was down there, the quick snap back in, and Jade Anthony took a cracking mark going back with the flight too.
Well, I think having the spare numbers at the back is fine, but you need people to work to be able to get that ball out of the back half then.
So 17 points the margin in favour of the Pies. Went through the hands of Meg Ryan. Here's a chance for Carlton to get it out of the centre square. So it's going to go back the way of the Pies with Ryan, who thumps the footy inside 50. Grant nearly took the mark. Campbell was lurking as well. Ball's been locked up. A strong tackle from Aisha Turner-Funk. The hyphen.
What a name.
Turner-Funk. And we'll have this one thrown back up. Pearce won it down. Grant lurking, as is Moroney. Secondary stoppage in the same spot. Collingwood are in attack for their second goal in a row to extend this margin even further as Skepper gets the clearance with a spiral to the outer side of the ground. Francesi stands underneath it, so Collingwood will repel themselves and go forward again. Campbell pushed aside her opponent, gave away the free kick in doing so, and in the end, it's going to be a free kick to Turner-Funk, whose kick is not a great one. Collingwood have got the numbers here at centre-half forward. They're going to try and win the footy back, but Carlton will stand up for the moment. Skepper, again, almost a mirror image of moments ago, but this time it works out because Stokes stands underneath it.
Stokes decides to give the handball there, the ruck giving off to the mid. Kick comes off to the broadside side wing now as the ball's going to come through. Marianne Anthony handballing at the back to Skepper. Skepper goes up and down. Met through Lucy Cronin, though. She's been very tall in defence today. Carlton having the numbers now. Kick off through Isla Baldwin. 2-on-2. What can Carlton manufacture? A great defensive effort there through Casey Lennox. Unfortunately, kick not great. Carlton going to have an opportunity here to manufacture something through Marianne Anthony.
So right beneath us, Anthony. Size up her options. Just over 5 minutes left in this first half. Brilliant smother on the mark. Terrific from Carly Ramos. They're winning the 1%ers at the moment, the Pies. They're playing some inspired footy after what's been lean pickings to start 2024. 3 goals, 2 of those in the first term. 17 points the advantage. Can they maintain the rage for the rest of this contest? Brilliant tap back from Pearce. The handball forward from Allen. Carlton will send it forward. The Collingwood defence will stand as best as they can to lock this footy up and repeat stoppage just beneath us.
And Joe, we might have mentioned that the great Gemma Bastiani mentioned that Carlton might have been resting a few players from today. Do you reckon they might be regretting that decision?
Possibly early, but there is still a fair way to go in this game as Skepper sends the footy forward. Girons at the front of the contest for the Blues. She's lurking. And there's been a whistle and a free kick is going the way of the Navy Blues. And it's going to be Isabel Parnell. I just wonder whether she's got the journey on her. They've got 17 points to make up as we near half-time. Cronin standing in the goal square. Pearce has also made her way down, as has Emily Hurley. So a couple of tall timbers in the square. Parnell, though, a casual, direct approach at goal. Sinks the slipper into it. It's just off the side of the boot. Well, she got the distance, Tyrone, not the accuracy, unfortunately. But at least the ball is locked in to this side of the ground. There's a bit happening off the ball. What can you see, Tyrone?
Casey Lennox just wanted to get into Parnell after that kick, and the Carlton Brigade come over to let her to defend their teammate.
Well, you watch the fight. I'll watch the footy.
Sounds good to me.
It's still inside the Carlton attacking zone. A goal from that might inspire him, Anthony. Kick partially smothered. The ball continues to play. The umpire's whistle doesn't go. Out of sight of the ground, there has been a whistle. Again, it's a free kick to Carlton, and Di Donato wants to go quickly. And she does just that, and Eliza Wood. Well, if you want the ball in the hands of anyone, it'd be your captain, Eliza Wood. And I can see Lennox has just come from the ground, sucking in some of the big ones. She might have got one during that little stoush. Old-fashioned stuff between Carlton and Collingwood.
It is tiring.
That's what we like. Well, I don't get into too many dust-ups, Tyrone, so I'll take your word for it. Here's Eliza Wood. Gives it everything she's got right to the goal line, and it gets there. Carlton respond in the best way possible. A captain's goal late in the first half. That's their first of the day. 3-2-20 to 1-3-9. The margin back to 11 points, and maybe, Tyrone, maybe that's just a little bit of a momentum shifter for the Blues.
Well, you mentioned it. There was no safer hands to be in than Eliza Wood, the skipper. And the kick just dragged over the line. I think it was Cronin on the line who just couldn't get the fingers to it. This could be the moment that the Carlton fans need. Football is a game of runs, and it's Carlton's time to go for a run. And
you and I saw that last night with the Western Bulldogs and the Bombers. It was their captain, the Footscray side, that is, Daniel Wargle, kicking a goal right on half-time that then followed on to 5-6 goals in the third term. But they went into the main break with the momentum. Are we seeing it here with Carlton?
Well, it definitely could be the case. Carlton have the talent for it, and we'll just have to wait and see as we're going to meet in the middle again. These two have been doing battle all day, is Pearce and Tucker. Down now through Carlton. Great first hands to it. Izzy Curry still busy, having her head over the football.
Busy Izzy, you reckon?
Busy Izzy, that's a great rhyme right there. That's a bar.
Oh, thank you.
Collingwood now, though. Great 2 steps. Can she get the kick off? No.
Super tackle.
That was a super tackle there by Ash Turner Funk, the hyphen. Stealing that one, Joe.
Now, I think it was a dangerous tackle in the end. Just the last motion, Tyrone, unfortunately, brought her down.
Yes, I think Pearce might have been taken down, but we're coming back through Carlton now anyways. Marianne Anthony looking for options. Great short kick. Can they find someone? No. That's going to be taken there by Nikki Watts, who's going to go short on the far side wing to Lucy Cronin, another girl who's been very busy today. She just slipped on her kick, but it doesn't matter because it's going to get to Francis, sorry. She's going to send that one down the far side wing, but now Carlton have an opportunity to set up their offense.
So closing in on half-time, Lawson Tavern has got the ball on half-back. There's whistles going off everywhere. And it might be a 50-metre penalty.
It is.
So, with only 20-odd seconds to go, I think the Collingwood players are a touch confused as to what is going on. But Lawson Tavern has one last foray forward before half-time. Stokes couldn't take the mark. Ryan, lurking for the Pies, will shoot the handball towards their vice-captain. Will run it over the line. Now, in the end, they're going to confer boundary and field umpire, but I don't think they're going to have a crack at a lasso free kick with a spiral from 55. Though, but we'll see how we go as
royalty payments.
We are about to get this third term underway. Pearce will go up against Stokes, who double-fisted it forward. It bounced past Ryan, the captain of the Pies, who's straight back onto it, locked up and thrown into the ground. So, much like the first term and the second term, in fact, the umpires found a free kick. So Ryan's just pointing to young Keck and saying, stand on the mark and I'll just kick it over your head. And that's what she does to start this third term. Ryan to half forward, looking for Rebecca Grant, pushed away from the footy. Remos, it ends up with Skepper for the Blues. Her handball went along the ground into the path of Dee Donato, had a really good first half. She might get it back. In fact, Skepper, they can raffle it between the two of them. High fly from McCarthy, brought it to ground, and Hurley's been sent over the line by Gemma Ramsdale, and we'll have this one thrown in just in front of the Carlton bench.
And Skepper just continuing her hot form at the moment, got really hot in that second quarter and continuing her work early, as is the skipper in Ryan for Collingwood. As we're going up now between Pearce and Hurley. Tapped down by Pearce. Great first option there. Good run through Sarah Ingram, but she's run down there. Awesome tackle by Leela Keck.
May have hurt herself too, Sarah Ingram.
Who sees the short option there, 45. Meg Robinson assessing her options. Tries to step around, does a little dozy-do, but Collingwood come through for the fly. Doesn't quite get it. Numbers now kick off. What can Collingwood manufacture from this? Ryan on the wing sees an option that she likes deep to space. Can Collingwood make the most of this? Caitlin Day keeping her head over the football, keeping her feet, left foot kick. Carlton back in support, but it goes through the legs. Quickly picked up here, kick off right foot. Is it going to bounce through? No, it is not.
So that was Michaela Maroney, Tyrone, who you could see the whites of her eyes from here. She ran into an open goal, but was run down. And Eliza Wood now. Far side of the ground for Anthony. Up the line for Hurley. Went through her fingertips. Lennox closed on her, but Hurley was composed. Didn't panic. Down the line, she sent the kick, but the Magpies are going to win back the Sharon. And the captain, Meg Ryan, is starting to come into this contest, although not a great kick. Maddie Gearan wins it back for Carlton, who busts through a couple of tackles, got to half forward. They'll shoot another handball off. This one comes off the boot of Simone Mooney. It's off the side of the boot, so just space in the forward pocket. The Pies defence first to gather it in. Ramsdale went looking for Jade Anthony, who's taken the mark. She's doing it at both ends, Jade Anthony. Kicked the goal in the second term. Has now got it on the halfback flank. Keck.
Shades of Rory Lobb from last night.
Yeah, doing it at both ends. I like that. Nice little well-weighted ball for Marnie Jarvis. As we mentioned in the first term, the only player remaining from the 2023 Collingwood squad. Back to Jade Anthony. So they're just taking the air out of the balloon now. Keck stepped on the mark and a 50-metre penalty. That's costly. Carlton had them hemmed in. And now Anthony comes all the way to half forward. Straight off the bench is Rebecca Grant. As Dennis would say, un-Australian. Grant couldn't get to it because Bowie closed on her. She got a 2-on-1, does Grant. Came off her boot. The ball's still inside the field of play and then over it goes. Just getting a finger on it to allow this one to be thrown back up again is Hannah Fosbrook right in front of us, Tyrone.
Just danced on the boundary line there for a little bit, didn't it?
It did. It was just, as my man Josh Herriot would say, flirting with the boundary.
Pearce and Stokes now going to meet again. They've had a great contest today. Tap down through Pearce. Carlton get first option here, breaks the tackle, but that's going to be a big tackle there. Still gets the kickoff, marked by Simone Mooney, who likes her options inside. Great chip kick there to Octavia Di Donato, who's been really busy today. Just seeing what she can find. Can Carlton finally make the push they need? Great kick there, finds an option. Quick handball off to Leela Keck, who's going to stroll into goal. Kick swinging with the wind there. Left ball might stay in play, but happy to see it go over the boundary line on both sides.
He might have just snuck in for a minus score in the end, right next to that behind post. So we'll have this one brought back in. That was the work of Simone Mooney, Tyrone. She was the one who kicked it into the corridor and then got it on half forward. Gave it to Keck running by.
Providing a bit of spark with Simone Mooney.
On debut for Carlton. Girl out of the Fitzroy Ammos. Brilliant kick by Cronin, and Ramsdale takes it. Collingwood go forward. Brilliant mark from Day. She swings around and it's just vacant land at half forward for the Pies, but it's Carlton. Di Donato, strong. Keck, who's having a pretty good day herself, doing what she can to get Carlton into the contest. 3-3-21 to 1-4-10. Anthony sits underneath it. Cronin was brilliant. A really good performance. This might be a breakout sort of game from Lucy Cronin.
She has been very, very busy today and very tall in defence, Joe.
If you stop the game and counted the votes for this one, she might be at the top of the tree so far. Lucy Cronin, key defender for the Pies. That kick, though, not a great one. Maddie Guerin takes the intercept mark. It'll go back in the Cronin direction. She's setting up for it. Goes beyond her. And the Collingwood defence fall over themselves, and Lennox has been rewarded a free kick as Hurley threw her into the ground without the football. So in a defensive area of the ground, she'll go across the face of goal. Here's some sort of dangerous kick, but they've got time and space to get the handball to Cronin. Queuing up is Lucy for another possession to half forward. It's inside the centre square. This might be locked up. Layla Prince is strong in the tackle. The umpire will cross the arms. We've gone 6.5 minutes in this third term. 3-3-21. Collingwood, Carlton 1-4-10.
Starting to even out the possession is Collingwood. Carlton not quite getting the run they were hoping for here early. But the skipper, Meg Ryan, providing Collingwood with a bit of a run of their own, aren't they?
She's coming to it. I'll get you her numbers in a moment.
Tap down there. Carlton get the kick out. Met forward. Great crumb here coming towards the near side wing. Can Alicia Francis get onto it? It's great smother there by Marianne Anthony. Still keeps her head over the footy, keeps her feet as well, and able to get the handball at the back of the pack. But Collingwood have numbers all around the contest. And this one's going to be locked up here on the near side wing.
Meg Ryan, 10 disposals, credited with 7 hit-outs as well. Lucy Cronin up to 13.
And Meg Ryan getting the hit out there as well, but met by Skepper as they go deep onto the far side wing. Looking now for Casey Lennox. Can she keep her feet? Great job. Handball out now. Carlton applying the pressure, though. Coming out through Michaela. And Lennox doing the spin move and the left foot kick, finding a target. Great effort there. Meet through the middle through Day. Day's been busy here. Handball off. Collingwood finally streaming forward. Get a bit of momentum. Can they find a crummer? Oh, big burst out the back from Layla Prince, though, to negate that as we're looking to stay on that far side wing.
And so the Pies with Frances Walsh will go into the centre square. It's a dangerous kick at 2-on-1. Stokes didn't take the mark. She's got the support at ground level, and Keely Skepper has almost brought her own Sharon so far in this second half. Went for Anthony, was pushed off it. She'll have a second attempt. Will Mariana did really well, kept her feet, kept composed. The kick might be turned over. The Collingwood defence are standing up as best as they can, trying not to give away the free kick is McCarthy for Carlton. The cavalry arrive for the Pies. Skepper on the deck, along with Francis, and the umpire will ask for it.
Collingwood defence standing tall in this third quarter.
So Ryan will do the ruck work for Collingwood. Stokes for Carlton. Thrown into the deck is Ingram. Been averaging the 20 disposals so far this season. Haven't called a lot of her name so far in this contest. As Ryan wins it down. Walsh. Her kick goes out of bounds on the full. And Skepper again, Tyrone, will take this kick and send Carlton forward.
Just on Meg Ryan doing the ruck work as well. She's doing a bit of everything today. That's Skepper. Left foot, wants to send it inside 50. Collingwood had the plus numbers though. It doesn't stop them from getting the crumb. Head over the footy. Spills out the back. Francis is going to stick on this one. Right foot near side. Can Collingwood make something of it here? And we're going to go pretty similar to where we were before on the boundary line.
So Keely Skepper's up to 17 disposals. Di Donato 13. Matty Gearin 13. And Robertson also, Meg Robertson that is, 13 disposals.
Gemma Stokes and Meg Ryan going to meet in the ruck contest here. Hands in the back, doesn't matter. Plays it down, soccer comes out. Getting their head over the football here. Might have been a dump tackle after the play. What's the umpire going to call? Calls the dump. We're now going to have a kick coming through Sarah Ingram. As you mentioned, Joe, normally averages around 20 disposals. Been a little bit quiet today. But Carlton now going to have an opportunity. Can the Collingwood defence stand tall? Here comes Lewis. They're just going to do a little professional fumble over the line there. Is Casey Lennox.
Yeah, kills a bit of time on the clock. 10.5 minutes into the third term. We've had just the one behind added to both of these sides in this second quarter. 21-10, 11 points is where we were at half time, and it's still where we're at now. Ryan wins it down. Stokes shovels the handball out towards DeMayo. One-on-one contest, about 30 out from the Carlton goal. And here's Cronin, picked the pocket of her teammates and said, give it to me, and clears it, although it might come back. Bowie's in a foot race with Grant. Grant will get there first, but Bowie will wrap her up. Throw her on the ground. The ball's just spilt out the back door. Carlton have got the numbers with DeMayo. Sending it back inside 50. It goes off hands. Can they keep this ball in? They can. Towards the goal square. They'll keep willing the footy forward. Hurley is pushing Lennox actually into the Sharon. And Lennox's kick picks out Cronin. So much maturity on this young girl's shoulders. She's playing some inspired football today as she brings it back inboard to Ingram, who wants to spread to Fosbrook on the half-back flank. Fosbrook got boot to ball. She tries to pick out her teammate who's got some space. It's Dee Giacomi, a downfield free kick. It'll go the way of Grant. And they'll go forward again. Here the Magpies.
Grant now with the downfield. Assessing her options, sees something on the far side, doesn't quite use it. Coming now, Carlton have the numbers around. Picked out the back, big Ryan making the tackle. She's giving her a bit of a shake as well, hoping for the ball to spill out maybe. Laying the tackle and stands up and says, yes, now I'm going to do the ruck work. Oh no, notices her ruckman is there and says, you know what, you take this one. Pearce, tap down now through Stokes. Great handball there, that one wrapped up. Stokes feeding at the back now to Bowie. Kick off. Good great mark there by Nikki Watts, who puts on the fancy footwork. Can she get around? No! Ends up getting called holding the ball. Lila Keck laying the tackle and now just taking a second to gather herself.
She may have caught one on the way through from one of the Collingwood opponents.
Lila Keck now, after laying the tackle and getting the free, looking at her options, decides to play down the line. Dangerous one, but that's going to be a great tackle by Emily Hurley. The big ruckman now swings onto her right foot. One-on-one, what can Carlton do here? Francis trying to stand tall. Big pickup here by Mel Staunton. Had the one-on-one with Francis, but it's going to spill out the back. Collingwood now able to exit that inside 50, only to be met by Carlton players, Decides to go the snap inside. Not much going to come of it, though. Collingwood able to wrap this one up. Spilled out the back, though. That's going to be taken through Carly Ramos. And here she is, Keely Skepper, continuing her day with a wicked kick short there.
It gives to Curry, who will go to half forward. There's some space for the Blues to work into. It's the captain Wood kicked the only goal for the Blues, and that's a brilliant lead. Presenting Mel Staunton. Charged at it. And I like the boldness of the play from Skepper, from Curry, and even from Eliza Wood to cut some angles and just ever so slightly shift this Collingwood defence that allowed Staunton to run up and present.
Staunton had the one-on-one before.
So for 2 in a row for Carlton, either side of the halftime break. Mel kept it low, didn't make the distance. On the goal line was Cronin. Stack of players lurking around the Sharon. She'll wish she had that one back, Staunton. She'd given it some sky. It was probably going to be there. So we're about 6 or 7 metres out from the Carlton goal. Hurley will do the ruck. She tried to attempt to grab it out of the ruck. A handball went as far as Ryan. Went for Cronin. Didn't want to rush the behind. She goes across the face of goal. It's a dangerous one. Eliza Wood was up to the task. Strong from the Carlton forwards to try and keep it in. It came back the way of the captain. Got it off to Curry. She gets boots the ball, snapping into goal, but missing to the near side. And one behind to Izzy Curry.
Carlton just starting to apply that pressure, Joe. Maybe the momentum that they need. Coming out now in defence through Cronin. Decides to take the bounce, take the 30 metres, kick off. Carlton have the numbers, though. That's going to be a great intercept mark by Asher Turner-Funk. The hyphen trying to find an inside option. Has space. Doesn't quite get the option. Skepper, though, with the left foot. Can it bounce? Drop mark 5 metres out. Can Collingwood manufacture something here? They can. Through Casey Lennox, who's just going to drop this one out into the centre of the ground. Not quite find an option that she wants, though. Ball spills loose. Which way is this football going to go? Sometimes it's just going back and forth, but now we're going on the far side wing. We have a foot race between Rebecca Grant and Turner Funk now coming through Bowie. Handball off. Going forward. Can't quite find the forward target, and that's going to go out of bounds on the far side wing.
So we're under 4 minutes to three-quarter time. It's a free kick to Collingwood. The last touch out of bounds. So Frances Walsh just chisel it in short for Maya Allen. Her kick falls short of Bowie, who ended up just kicking it off the ground back from where it came, and Walsh wobbles it to half forward. Ramos uses their hands to full effect and gets the 1-2 going. Grant's in a 2-on-1. Bounced up nicely for Turner Funk. She went to half forward. The Collingwood forwards keep willing themselves at every opportunity to win back the share. They're just falling down at half forward at the moment. They're going to get another chance at doing it. Maya Allen again on the wing. Thought about going in short. May have to use her captain in Ryan, who was running past. Ryan just sinks the slipper into it in the day direction. Ball hits the ground. What can the Carlton defence do to stop this rappel forward? Strong from Ramos. The umpire props, stops, and rewards the Pies. And Ramos will take the free kick. And Tyrone, this is very similar to the first term and the second term. Carlton have had it parked at their end of the ground. Only one foray forward. This will be a certain goal. There's descent, and Ramos will go to the goal line. She'll clap the hands and applaud her opponent for giving that away. And Carly Ramos will stroll into point-blank range and make it real tough for Carlton from here. From 10 points to 16, Ramos puts a finger in the air and slots it home. That's her first. Collingwood now, 4-3-27. Carlton, 1-5-11. Deflating, Tyrone, if you're a Carlton fan.
It is a valiant effort from Collingwood, though. A lot of people that I spoke with pre-game didn't actually have a lot of faith in the Collingwood side today with all the changes that they've had.
You should have spoken to me.
I should have spoken to the great Joe, I know, but utterly impressed with the way Collingwood have gone about their business today. Head down, working through the contest, getting the ball forward.
We've been watching the inside 50 count, 26 to now 16. Prior to that inside 50, 15 obviously. 4 goals from the 16 inside 50s. Carlton just had the one so far.
That's a good conversion rate as the rucks meet again. Great tap down there by Hurley. Frosbrook getting her head over the footy. Doesn't quite get the attention that she wants, though. Now coming out through Carlton. Can they make an opportunity of going forward? That's going to be a strong grab there, and decides to go straight away to try to find an option. Through Sarah Ingram, slowly starting to work her way into this game. Comes over the top of Bowie. Doesn't quite get the grab. Collingwood, it's a sea of black and white here at the moment. They have so many numbers around the contest. Very plus. And the umpire said, give that one to me. We're going to ball this one up. As we're going to meet now with Emily Hurley and Lily Pearce. Great battle today. Just switched past towards Frosbrook. Met by the Carlton defence there, a brick wall. Takes it on the chin, and we're going to get the ball up again.
So just in front of us, we've got 30 seconds to three-quarter time. One down and locked up again is Isla Baldwin, although it did spill out. The umpire called play on now. He decides there was going to be no further advantage, so we'll have a secondary stoppage here on half forward. Only seconds left of this third term. Baldwin wrapped up by Fosbrook. She had a second go. Ingram shoveled the handball out. The kick there off the boot of Dyson. Ramos slung forward into the path of Grant. Is there one more opportunity? The siren beats them. Only just the siren beats them. But Collingwood was surging forward again. Ramos a bit slow to get to her feet.
Head on, especially through their skipper, Meg Ryan. She matched them word for word, bar for bar.
Well, she's in the centre standing against Curry as we get this final term underway. Big fist forward from Pearce. And the Magpies are going to surge forward with Ingram. Runs her full measure, kicks it inside 50. A little handball back inboard. Ramos following it up. She's wrapped up and trying to will the Sharon out of her hands, but she can't. The umpire will cross the arms and ask for it, but the centre clearance going the way of the Pies to start the final term. Curry, the dump kick, only as far as Cronin, who dead set has shot the lights out across the back line today. The bolter of the AFLW draft last year, I'm told, from Gemma Bastiani, who watches the draft closely, maybe more closely than anyone else.
Isn't she on that podcast as well?
I've heard Gemma on the State of Play podcast. Sometimes she's there, every Tuesday morning, in fact, at 7:30, Tyrone. You can get that podcast. It's a great podcast.
Coming down now, Carlton getting themselves over the football here. Can they provide something in the fourth quarter?
I'm not quite sure about the other bloke she's on with, but Gemma's definitely
a
real talent.
That other guy just yaps all day.
All day.
Can Carlton manufacture something here? Going through Ramos. Kick is good. Couldn't find Ingram. Met at the back through Skepper, who's now up to 20 disposals for the day. And we have a foot race between Casey Lennox. But it's going to go forward now, Carlton. They might be able to manufacture something here. There's a great opportunity. Have numbers streaming. Handball doesn't quite hit its mark. Lennox going to pick this one up through Jade Anthony, who now goes through Ingram. Finally starting to work her way into it. Ramos beats her man, keeps her feet, but then is also met through the tackle. Umpire says, play on. Didn't have prior, he says, and we're going to have a ball up on the far side.
Well, he's having a hover. An extended hover that was too.
It kind of looked like he was going to call it, and then he started running left to right. I was like, what's it?
I reckon maybe his GPS said run another 20 metres and that will get your K up. So now he's quicker on the whistle and locking this one up. So Curry gives it back to the umpire and another stoppage on the outer side of the ground. Half forward flank for Collingwood. They've been thrown some questions from the Carlton Footy Club today, the Pies, and they've answered almost every single one of them. It was a dream start for them. 2 goals in the first quarter. Oh. Bang, crash from Dyson and Simone Mooney outer side of the ground. Neither side has taken a backward step today.
That was a huge clash there.
Fierce rivals, the Collingwood and Carlton. Many storied games here at Victoria Park over a number of years. This one just adding another chapter into that as Eliza Wood cuts a swathe through them and sends it to half forward. Can the Blues find the first goal of this final term? Lennox was wrapped up and in the end been given a free kick for eye tackle. At the moment she's down for the count. Might have been hurt in doing so. Whistle has gone to stop the play just for the moment.
There's definitely no love lost between these two sides today, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The physio waving down the trainers, so there'll be a break in play here. Sophia McCarthy was the player tackling. Lennox starting to get to her feet now. I'm going to make an assumption that she'd come from the ground, but by the time the physios get there, we may have an answer on this. I'm going to confer. Waves the trainers away. Does Lennox?
Has a twist.
Just frees up the back ever so slightly, and looks like play will resume. So half-back flank for Lennox to go in short. And the mark has been taken by Sarah Ingram.
Yeah, Sarah Ingram slowly starting to work her way into this one now. Goes short to their skipper in Ryan.
Been one of their best, hasn't she?
She has been absolutely electric today. Kick not so great though. Just in front of the Smithy sign is Collingwood trying to wake their way forward. Ryan getting back over the football. Leaving now through Carlton. Tried to go the spiral up and down the chimney is that ball.
Oh,
but it's bounced straight back towards Scappo, who's going to put her left foot on. Has Lila Keck at the back, decides to use her body, has space in front of her if she can get over the football. Overruns it. Lennox, fresh off the high tackle, still able to work. But that's going to be tackled there by Marianne Anthony. Who's going to keep her feet, keep her head over the football, and lock this one in for a Collingwood inside 50. I mean, Carlton inside 50.
Yeah, it's at the right place of the ground for the Blues. Can they navigate their way to a second goal and make the Magpies a little bit nervy in this final term? Handball ends up with Skepper. She got a boot to it. Kick, though, only as far as Dyson. Went for Bowie. Curry head over the football. Supported by Gearan. Skepper paddled in front of herself. Up to Anthony. Pushed off to Sharon. The handball went out the back door. And they're trying to break away here, the Pies. But I don't think they're going to have much luck in doing so. And the umpire will cross the arms and ask for it. So it's Robertson, the last player up. Thrown in the air again. The clearing kick from Cronin's a gem. Hit her teammate on the chest. It bounced off DG Akomi's chest, and now she's being wrapped up in the tackle. Lawson Taven's got hurt. And the umpire will ask for it again on this broadcast wing. Yeah,
Taven just having nowhere forward to go. Umpire's going to bring this one back in. We're now met through Stokes. Tapping that one down. Head over the footy is Carlton. Kick is off. Hit a little bit late, but that's okay. Carlton still able to stream forward. Now through Marianne Anthony. Can she find a target? Swings back inside. Kick is off, and that's going to be taken. Decides to give it off short, though. And that's going to be an awesome kick on the 45 there. Taken by Lila Keck. Had an opportunity earlier going back towards goal with the space. But decides to do the work as a small forward this time, Joe.
Yeah, and she's been busy in this second half, Lila Keck. She's had a couple of really promising moments, and well, this will obviously be the best of the lot. Bring the margin back to 10 points at the 6-minute mark of this final term, Tyrone.
Lila Keck pushing towards the square. Kick is off, comes off the right side of the boot. And that one's just going to sail through for a behind, having a bit of a stretch after.
Yeah, she's gone down for cramp there. So that's her second behind of the day. Nothing worse, really, than a point-blank range shot at goal and then
getting a cramp.
Cramp in the calf.
Magnesium tablets,
I
mate.
need that pickle juice. Brilliant kick from Cronin. The mark was even better from Ramos, who, like a few of her teammates, have come into her own in this second half. Dyson gets the receiving kick from Carly Ramos. Thought about going down the line. Miss Grant went over her head. Skepper reeled it in and then thumped it forward. It's a 3-on-1 down there. They can raffle it, and bingo, the lucky number is 51. Gemma Ramsdale. Stops and props. Time for think music. We'll go back to Cronin. She can go to Lennox in short. Cronin wants to look beyond that. And down the stretch, the mark's taken by Mollenberg. Decides to go corridor. And Francis Walsh. It's a good build-up. Cronin ran past for the handball receive. Cleaned it up beautifully. Sweeps it to Ingram. She'll get it back, Will Cronin. Another handball into the path of Grant. They'll keep running now. Ingram. Oh, it doesn't want to bounce up for her. So this is locked up on half forward. Curry's there. It's spilt out. The umpire didn't blow the whistle all that fast, so they'll keep playing. And the ball's been thrown out, and Hurley will get the free kick for Carlton.
Hurley now off the half-back line, going to assess their options. Sees a 45 towards Skepper, but going to be met there by the Pies. Collingwood now come through Hannah Dyson. She has options forward. She decides to use them. They have a Paddock here. Kick is off. Is it going to go? Swings left, hits the post there. Was Caitlin Day. Had her opportunity, had a Paddock in front of her, but couldn't quite get that one to go. Fresh off the run, that Lucy Cronin run before was really good. As Carlton now get a 45 inside their defensive 50. Decide to come wide now to Mel Staunton, who might have pushed her out of it now. Hannah Dyson going to get the free here, pushed out by Skepper. They have another opportunity to go forward here. Assesses her options. Decides to go to up and down. Carlton in defence. That's going to be a great grab by Isabella Parnell, who gets the handball off. Now stuck in the back half. Dangerous handball. 45 kick. Great kick there to Lila Keck, who's worked her way down back to help her teammates. 45 off wide. Steph Demio. Handball. Can they get the link up here? Skepper. Can they find an option down wide? They can get there through. Sophie McCarthy doesn't quite hold the mark, though. Awesome work by Lennox in defence. Still able to pick up ground is Carlton, but Lennox sending this one back. Taken there by Grace Osborne.
So a short ball for Curry, right at the interchange gates for the Pies. Time very much the enemy of Carlton now. They're 16 points in arrears, 4-4-28 to 1-6-12. Haven't quite been able to capitalise on the momentum that the Blues have had. That's a terrific grab. Wants to go quickly, does Eliza Wood. She's called to play on. Keck is going to be run down. Brilliant tackle. And it's going to be Ingram winning the day for Collingwood. Although again, it's Skepper not giving up the fight, leading from the front.
The umpire is in no rush to use his whistle today.
No, they're letting the play go, which sometimes is good to see, but when there's congestion, sometimes the best thing is just to throw it up as it's thumped forward from the Blues into the pocket. This one, they're trying to keep this in. Mooney tried to shovel the handball forward. Locked up. Strong tackle again. So the umpire will ask for the ball. Meg Ryan will do the ruck work against McCarthy. She'll win it down. Keck shoveled the handball out. Maddie Gearan put the ball on the deck. And Ryan is going to be rewarded with a holding the ball decision.
Ryan, absolutely everything everywhere all at once is Meg Ryan, sending this one towards the near side. Great kick. That's going to be taken there by the Collingwood side. Jade Anthony now looking for options. Decides to play this one down the line towards Dave, but that's going to be spoiled over the line there. Great spoil by Georgia Lawson Tavern. So Caitlin Day starting to get a bit busy in the forward half, Joe.
Started the game really well. Kicked that first goal of the day, didn't she, Tyrone?
She did. Ryan in the ruck now.
And Carlton still 11 inside 50s ahead of the Pies. And they've had 20 more tackles than Collingwood as well. They just haven't been able to capitalise on the scoreboard as Ingram goes today. The handball ends up with Fosbrook for the Pies. Bowie came in to produce the smother, and she's been locked up at half forward. 4-4-28, 1-6-12. Collingwood led by 13 points at quarter time.
I was just letting her know there. Letting her know she laid that tackle.
It was 11 points at halftime, 16 at three-quarter time as Skepper shovels the handball out towards Bowie. On the right foot to the wing. In a one-on-one was Baldwin. Skepper followed up the Sharon, locked up on the broadcast wing. The umpire's camping, watching, looking, crossing the arms.
He's got an interesting call pattern. He does a little zigzag.
It's got something to do with the GPS data, I reckon. He gets a couple more steps in, which means at the end of the day, it all adds up to an extra K. Locked up again. He'll run around, have a look, and then cross the arms again, Tyrone.
You would know you'd know something about training for a half marathon, Joe, wouldn't you?
Oh, and a full.
Ryan taps that one down now towards the near side. Met by Ramos. Handball off now through Collingwood. Finding the short kick. That's going to be a great kick there and a great mark by Jade Anthony, who's going to swing onto her right foot, try find an option. Going back, very brave mark Octavia Di Donade, who tries to go short. Can Carlton work this way out of the back, or is the Collingwood wall going to keep the pressure on? Breaks the tackle, swings on, breaks another. Right foot is off. Is it going to go through? Off for a behind, Joe.
It was off the boot of Ava Campbell too. It would have well and truly iced the game. They've been able to do this, Collingwood, a couple of times a quarter. Repel the Carlton foray forwards and get it to their end of the ground and lock it in. Bowie to Lawson Tavern, straight up the guts is going to be the quickest way home for Carlton from here. The hyphen sends it into the centre circles. A brilliant mark taken by Simone Mooney. They want to go quickly here, the Blues. Mariana Anthony's in a one-on-one with Cronin. The ball hits the ground and she's off to the races and charging. Cronin's got the support of her teammates. Ball's been left behind. Was there a high tackle? There was. And it's going to be Mollenberg, Michaela Mollenberg for Collingwood to take the free kick. Jade Anthony. Bit of composure. Takes the full 20-odd seconds. Carly Ramos now. This is professional from the Pies. Use the full allotted time. Goes back to Mollenberg. She might go back here to Ramos. They'll be in no real hurry here. Collingwood just send it down the line when they don't need to. Possession football for Frances Walsh. She might go back to Ramos. Decides to go down the line to a 3-on-1. Ball hits the ground. Ryan first to gather it in. Strong tackle coming from the back. Pearce had a crack. The ruck. Spilled out the back door. Di Donato. There's been a whistle. And it's a Carlton free kick. So at the 14.5-minute mark, Carlton have got on the half-back flank. They've got 17 points, Tyrone, that they need to make up. And the free kick here is with Isabel Curry.
And possession has well and truly evened out as well, Joe. We're now looking at 47% Collingwood to 53% Carlton. So it's well and truly a 50-50 game here. As Curry going to try find her options on the half-back line. You imagine they're going to have to start gambling a little bit more. See something she likes inside, takes her full step, kick inboard. But Collingwood have the numbers. Bowie around the contest, lurking, looking dangerous, keeping her feet. Gets up and takes the tackle there through Cronin, who's been incredibly busy today. Now up to 24 disposals is Lucy Cronin, only led by Keely Scapper. Ball up now, down through Collingwood. Scapper keeps racking it up. Kick here towards Marianne Anthony. Who can she find inside? There's a block inside. Decides the forward she wants to go, but decides to go the deepest forward. Can someone grab a mark here? Fly! Front and centre, Crum smothered off. That's going to be out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, it was off the boot of Mel Staunton. I thought it did ricochet off a play, but the umpire seemed to think otherwise.
Well, how rarely do you kick it 30 metres off the side of your boot like that?
Oh. Sure Mel Staunton will want to have that one back. They haven't made their chances turn into gold today, Carlton in the forward 50. Here's Carly Ramos again. I think it's a terrific second half. Goes across the ground and Collingwood can stop and prop again. Kick back inboard, not a great one. McCarthy, teammates queuing up. Keck's in a one-on-one. At least she forced a contest, but she was overzealous in doing so. And a free kick for Gemma Ramsdale. Just gives it to Cronin, who tried to manufacture a 50 at centre-half back. It's been a magnificent performance from Lucy Cronin alongside her fellow defender Casey Lennox, who's also had a really good game to repel almost every Carlton entry. Ryan, the best from the midfield bunch, paddles it forward. Anthony, let it go through her legs. Strong from Ryan. Anthony now. Mariana got some space to move and groove. Gets the Keck. Staunton in a one-on-one. She'll wait for some players to get inside 50 Keck. And she'll point to the top of the goal square. That's the kick and the direction. Staunton. At the front was McCarthy. Ball hits the ground. And Collingwood again through Ingram will clear only as far as Bowie, who's at centre half forward. Now, is there much movement ahead of her? She'll have to pick out someone. To the top of the square again. Staunton, Pearce. Smothered kick. They've got the numbers as it hits the ground to the Pies. Di Donato's come a long way from the back line to try and win back the football. Handball just to space. It bounced up for Baldwin. Went back to Di Donato. Will swing around on the right foot. And a third attempt at going to the top of the square. And Anthony, terrific sort of mark down in defence.
That is a huge mark there. If that one hits the ground, Keely Scapper front and centre for the goal attempt. So that is a very, very big defensive stance there by Collingwood as they're going to look towards the near side boundary. Big fly, not going to work. Trying to tap it on there. Scapper getting around the contest. Ball there. Is this going to be dragged in? What's the umpire going to say? He's going to say, this ball is mine. I'm going to throw it up. As Anthony sitting on that one. Now we're going up through Stokes. Tap down. Scapper at the back. First one is Ramos. And she's just going to be wrapped up by Scapper. A bit of fatigue looking to set in, I reckon, with the Carlton side. Pearce tapped out the back. Carlton head over the football. Is this one going to sit on the boundary line? It's going to be taken over. Looks like the fatigue is starting to set in a little bit, Joe.
Well, we've got 40 seconds left in this contest. Collingwood are going to hold on and record their first victory of the season. At the moment, it's a 17-point ball game. Plenty of off-season change at the Pies, including the coach, and to be the first victory for Tommy Cashin and his team. Robertson thrown into the ground, disposed of with a terrific tackle that almost highlights the whole day that the Pies have put together from Maya Allen. And Ramsdale could go back to Anthony if she wants. With only a handful of seconds left on the clock, she'll decide to send it down the line, and that is it. Arms in the air for the black and white. They record their first victory of 2024, holding off Carlton by 17 points. 4-5-29 to 1-6-12. Individual goal kickers, Caitlin Day, Sashi Di Giacomi, Jade Anthony and Carly Ramos. While for Carlton, Eliza Wood, the captain, kicked their only goal. What about some of the disposal winners on the day, Tyrone, that tickled your fancy?
Oh, there were some big getters today. Keely